Yo. Hi, Susie.
Hi, Jackie.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good.
This looks a little dark. I'm going to see if I can.
Okay.
I don't want to lose it, though.
I can see you.
I think we'll just go with dark.
Yeah, I can see you. I can see you fine.
Well, I can see you too. I don't know why it's. I'm afraid if I get off it, I might not get back on. What do you think?
Well, but you just leave. I would leave it.
Yeah, I'll leave it.
Do you have a lamp or something that you can turn on?
No, it's the iPad.
Oh, okay. Hi, Mark. Okay, you need to unmute yourself. Mark, you need to.
Yep, I can hear you now. So
Okay,
it's good.
Good. Okay.
Hi, Mark.
Hello.
There's Julia. Hi, Julia.
Hi.
Good.
Hi, Julia.
Hi. Can I be a silent person?
Why do you want to be a silent person?
Because I just broke down and took a pain pill. I had about an hour and a half of physical therapy about an hour ago.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
So I don't
You don't want to scream. Okay.
I want to be present, but I'm not
Yeah.
commenting on things.
Okay. Okay. Well, I hope you feel better.
Me too.
Yeah, she's gone through a lot. But anyway,
Jackie, I'm going to try to fix my lighting situation. I'll be in a bit.
Fine. Yeah.
I'll try no, I'm going to just try something.
Okay.
Wait a minute. No, I shouldn't do it. No, that didn't make any difference, did it?
It's fine. I mean, for us, it's fine. I'm sorry that it's a little dim, but it's not
Let
terrible.
me turn up the light and see if that makes a difference.
Okay.
Does it?
It is brighter.
Okay.
But you need to come back so we can see whether you show up as that's
There
better.
you go.
Very
There you go.
good.
You don't.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm blonde again. Okay. Julia, did you have a chance to read my email?
I did.
Good.
And there was only
Yep.
one. I only had one comment on a wording in something on one of the signs.
Don't worry.
Oh, no, brochure. I'm sorry. Brochure, yes.
Okay.
I did.
All right. Mute yourself if you don't want to talk.
Well, you asked me a question, so.
I know, but then I remembered that you wanted to be a
So I
silent.
just didn't want to say anything stupid. So
Oh, okay.
it just with, having taken a pain pill, that's my
Yeah,
concern.
yeah, no. Well, I'm glad you're here. We're four of us. No one else said they couldn't come. So Megan will obviously be here. She's always present. And I don't know about Noel, but we'll see. Merle still won't do Zoom. Did everyone survive? Mark, did you survive the storm without any damage to your house?
Yeah, we didn't have too much damage. We just lost power. No
Yeah.
big trees came down. I ended up going to my sister's because we lost power for a few days. So that was what I did to work.
Yeah, you don't have a
We had
generator.
a ton of water. We just had a ton of water in our basement, but as soon as the
Oh.
electricity came on, that our pumps took care of it.
Yeah, well, that's good, but no trees down or anything like that.
No, not at all. It was actually kind of amazing because we have our neighbors have planted a lot of white pines that divide our property. And I watched those sway in the wind on Wednesday, and I swear I thought one of them was going to come through my house.
Oh my gosh.
This being an old house wouldn't have survived. It just would have cut right. It would have cut right through the house.
Oh, gee. Well, maybe you can persuade them to kind of attach it. I spoke to, I guess It was Sandy Durant who lives on Beach Street and who had a huge tree down on her property. It didn't hurt her house, it fell into the street. But she said that she's actually attached some of her trees to something very stable with wires so that they won't fall on the neighbor's house. Maybe you can get your neighbors to anchor those trees somehow.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's certainly an option.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of hoping maybe I was actually surprised the Norwegian maple in our yard didn't come down.
Yeah.
But it was, I didn't think too much. I didn't think it was going to be too much of a storm. Then, all of a sudden here we are, we're like 4 days without power. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of major.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, our house shook, but.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah. Which is very disconcerting. But we actually didn't have any damage and just twigs and leaves, but and sort of messy, but we were able to clean that up.
Well, that's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, so glad. Well, Megan is usually here. If she doesn't show, I can just take some minutes, I guess, but we'll give her a couple more minutes. Otherwise, we need to get going because I have dinner in the oven, which will be ready by 8. So don't want to spend longer than an hour.
Did you all see that the Situate is agreed to buy the Blakey property?
Yes, which
that's
is
kind of fun.
wonderful.
Yeah.
That's
That-
fantastic.
That really is great. Now that's on the other side of the road. Is that right? It's not
It's the East Field, but the
right.
fellow that's bought the property is a fellow named Carl Christensen, who's
Yeah.
from Situate. And I don't, I knew a Carl Christensen from Cohasset, but I don't know if it's the same family. That other Carl Christensen is dead, but
Yeah.
I'm curious to find out. But apparently he's not planning to develop the North or the South Fields.
Oh,
And he's
that's
building-
good.
Oh, wow.
He's
Yeah.
building himself a house off of the South Field and down by the river. So that view, which I don't think
Yes.
people realize, that was my auntie. They had to thank for that, but it will be preserved. Here's Megan. Here we go.
Hi, Megan.
Julia, my parents loved looking at that go
Good,
up. They loved it
Good.
on-
I'm glad.
when they were living on Stanton Road.
Yeah.
Hi, Megan.
Oh,
Good. Okay, I think we should start. It's 7 o'clock. And Noel may join us or not, who knows? But we've got a good quorum. So I'd like to begin by asking for the approval of Megan's minutes for the last meeting.
I move we approve Megan's minutes.
I
Okay,
second.
Second,
all those in favor?
Aye.
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 It's unanimous. Okay, thanks, Megan. They were very good. Okay, the first order of business is the National Register application, which I have sent now to Bessie Friedberg at the Mass Historical Commission. And she's the National Register Director for that organization. And I'm fairly optimistic. I haven't heard anything back from her, so at least she didn't say no. And I pointed out that the David's application was accepted, and I asked her whether the first floor interior was an issue at that time, and if so, how was it resolved? We'll see. I haven't heard back from her, but I also pointed out that the bank is a very good example of a historic building that's used for commercial purposes that was adapted. The exterior is really very much the way it was when it was first built. It was restored to look like that, but the interior has been adapted for modern purposes. So I'm hoping that would persuade them to accept it for as eligible for nomination to the National Register. So we shall see. On the Captain's Walk, Ralph and I took a field trip to the Mass Audubon Society in Marshfield, their North River Society, and the Pannier Graphics, who
Oh, we're
we've
there. Oh.
they've done those signs, and the director of that particular Mass Audubon Society said they're very pleased with their signs, and they've held up well. I mean, after a while, we will probably have to replace them, but the benefit of going with Pannier is that they'll keep the files, and they can just send us a new panels when we need them, and they won't, we won't have to pay for all the graphic designing and the pedestals and all that. So anyway, I'm
That's good.
pretty impressed with the way they looked. I think I would still like to go to the Cape Cod National Seashore Park to see signs that are in more of an environment like ours. So that may be next weekend. Also, this last weekend, we went to Newburyport to see their waterfront park, which is really very nice. It's a boardwalk along the Merrimack River, but similar to what the Harbor Committee plans for Cohasset. And we took some pictures, and I will send them to members of the Harbor Committee, and I'll also send all of you the pictures too, so you can see. But it's simple, but very nice. What's, I think, the great advantage of that of the Newburyport walkway is that it's quite wide, so that families can walk along it without getting crowded. Now, I don't think we will have enough space to make it as wide as that, but at least it's important to have it wide enough for two people to walk along. So anyway, I'll suggest that. And they have benches on both sides, one along the river. They're kind of very simple. They're just wooden, like planks or blocks, actually. And then on the inland side, they have regular benches that people have donated. And each and every bench had a small bronze plaque in memory of somebody or other. So that's maybe something that that committee can think of. I did listen in on the Harbor Committee's infrastructure planning group, which George Baumgarten and Mike Sardina are members, and they're our liaison. And it's going to be a while, I think, before we see that walkway. They've just hired John Cavanaro, the engineer, to do a survey. I guess they call it a field survey.
Mhm.
And he's going to have that ready probably in a couple of months, which brings us, to maybe January or something. But the Biden's infrastructure project or proposal was accepted, so maybe this group can get the Harbor Committee can get money from that to help them build their walkway. So that's.
I can't remember what group it was that I got and I'm sure we all did, an email from it's about the Elm Street project.
Oh, yeah, right.
And looking
yeah.
at the design, it's strange. Cove Road, or whatever it's called, the one right in front of the motel, that's
Right.
gone. That's
It's
not
gone?
there anymore. It's
Really?
gone. Yes, if you
Oh,
look at that
Yeah,
email that
they-
was sent,
If you look
it's
at the
gone,
diagram,
and
if you look at the
Excuse me.
diagram, they expand out the island towards where the motel is now,
Yeah,
and they change the flow of traffic coming up Margin Street to force people to stop and slow down instead of barreling through. It is an interesting design. I kind of, having walked that area a lot during the pandemic, I think it's not that bad of an idea. It is a shame that that little road between the cove that wraps around the hotel,
Yeah.
disappears. But
Well, I don't see it, but I think they need it because aren't they going to have condos on the other side where we approved? Remember, there's that.
yes.
So,
But I'm talking the motel condos. But Mark, as you're coming up Border Street and you want to go to Margin, that's
you
almost,
gotta do a giant U.
well, it's
you go
not really a
down and
U. It's a very
around.
sharp
Yeah,
turn to the right, not an easy turn.
no, it's not.
I don't care for it. I like having Cove Drive because
Yeah.
a Cove Road, because I think without it, it appears that the park belongs to the condos. There's no distinction between the condos and the park. It abuts it.
there's going to be another a Zoom meeting on the Elm Street corridor on Thursday, November 18th at 7 p.m. You should plan to
Yeah,
join that and anyone else who's interested.
that was I guess that was the email that we got that
Yeah,
described.
right.
And
So,
our view, we really don't have the promised view to the harbor going down Elm Street. That,
yeah, I thought that was going to be a part of McGoldrick and Lubitz's plan for their condos, that there is going to be an opening there.
well, it's kind of a narrow opening and it's, I was a little disappointed to see it. It's to the right, which would be, I guess, the south side of the condos, but it's not a direct view. I mean, you can't go down Elm Street and look across. You've
Oh,
got to
really?
take a look at what was
Yeah.
sent.
Okay, well,
And you'll see what
I hope you'll bring that up too at that Zoom meeting because
I hope so.
I think that's
November 18th. I'm pretty sure I can
important.
make
I
it.
think everyone was looking forward to that opening.
I think so too.
Yes,
Anyway,
Suzie, yes,
that was
they
one-
said that, didn't they? They said there was supposed to be a view.
It's not much of a view if those.
It's hot, it's nothing. But wasn't that the original plan when they started touting these things?
Yes,
That we'd come down Elm Street in this new corridor and see the harbor?
yes, but you agree,
So
you've
now
got
you-
to go around a little bit and
And kind of like peer through a,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll be at that meeting too, so we can both scream.
all right.
And Mark, you too.
I mean, I really guess I never gave too much thought on the view. I mean, I kind of like it. I feel in the summer, in most times, people cruise down through Elm Street, and I think this is a nice way to slow that stretch down because it's busy. And if you have kids riding to the sailing club or yacht club, and people, there's going to be an influx of traffic with the condos. There needs to be a way to regulate that traffic. I think I'm assuming that this is their best, attempt at doing that without, breaking it down to one lane either direction and like really kind of hemming it in, and then that's a no-go for people. People
right,
up in arms
one
about that.
way. Yeah, I agree.
In terms of the view, honestly, it's kind of disappointing, but not surprising that. I
know.
I'm really just. It's not really surprising that they kind of put it off to one side or the other, because I'm sure everybody, even the people who are going to eventually work and live there, want a specific look and view from their units. And again, I don't know what necessarily what we can do. I don't know if those plans are finalized with the town as in terms of like the look. All I know is that there's a big backhoe ready to go in that parking lot. Or I don't know if that might be just work for work that's being done on Elm Street. So I'm waiting for a little more information about like the street and how it's going to, in the view, really, before I formalize an opinion.
Well, I think all these questions should come up at that meeting on the 18th. It's better to raise the questions now than just
exactly.
to wait until it's too late. And they'll listen to people, I think. I don't know how I think this is the master plan committee's big project. So I would think they'd be responsive to the public. They want to please the public. And I think Julia, when she's feeling better, can tell us more about what they're talking about, right? They're focusing on that, right? That's their thing.
They did mention the signage.
Yeah.
And I brought that up too. I mean, and the last meeting, which went on for like 2.5 hours, it was about sidewalks more than anything else.
Right.
Rather than anything pertinent to us, but they are, as I said, they have been paying more attention to our desire for the Captain's Walk and the signs, and they're acknowledging our input. It seems to me.
That's
more.
well, I know
That's
the Mariner had a I guess a front page article on stepping towards the Captain's Walk, and
Yes.
I'll show you. I don't know if you can see.
My subscription just expired.
Okay.
They're the hardest people to renew with. I must have missed that issue. Was it 2
well,
weeks ago?
this was Friday, October 29th. It was
So
29th. And it was a nice article saying that part of the revitalization will come in the form of the reestablishment of the Captain's Walk. The Captain's Walk was originally established by the Cohasset Historical Commission, a self-guided tour of 10 historical sites. In recent years, however, the tour has fallen by the wayside. Now the Cohasset Select Board, along with the Harbor Committee and Historical Commission, are ready to bring it back. Behind the scenes, the Historical Commission is currently procuring signage. And I wasn't a part of this discussion either. They must have gotten it from the Harbor Committee. Behind the scenes, the Historical Commission is currently procuring signage for the stops along the Captain's Walk, which officials hope can come back even better than its original form. So I think that's pretty nice preparation for what we plan to do. Speaking of that, while we're still on the Captain's Walk, I'm inclined not to put numbers on each of the stations because things could change in the future, and I just assume not have numbers. Right? People will go along this walk, and hopefully the walk itself will be identified. This is what I liked about the Newburyport walk. It was very clear where the walk began and ended. It was, it's straight because it's a river, but it was a boardwalk, and so that you knew that you were still on this waterfront park walkway by simply following the boardwalk. I don't think we need numbers now. I don't know if you have opinions on that.
Leave the numbers off.
Okay.
Each sign stands on its own.
Good.
So
I agree. I think that makes sense.
if you had a walk where you followed along, for example, this is where such and such boat was built. This is where such and such boat sailed from, and that sort of thing. And this is where it went for repairs. But we don't have that. And I think each sign pretty much stands on its own. So the need for numbers isn't there. Plus they're a little messy when you put them on a sign.
Yeah, we don't, but it's just more verbiage. We don't need that.
Yeah,
on the sign.
okay.
Okay, I will leave those off. Okay. Does anyone else have a comment or question at this point on the Captain's Walk signage?
My comment would be, when we're discussing it among ourselves, I think it might be helpful to be able to refer to a number.
Okay,
When we're
okay,
talking about it here. So,
right,
for example, if I had a comment on number 4 or whatever, I'm just pulling that up. I
yeah,
could say, hey, look at number 4 rather than.
okay, okay, I will
That's all.
refer, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and actually, as a matter of fact, that was the one you said something about, I'm sorry, the person draining Little Harbor.
Oh, that was Elisha Doan.
Elisha Doan, yeah.
Yeah.
In the tour guide world, if they can't see it, don't mention it. And it's being like, it would be fun for Cohasset residents to know that,
Yeah.
but is that more, I mean, do they charge per word on the
No,
sign?
no,
Okay.
they don't. No, it's fine.
Okay,
And
because
you
it's
know,
fun to have that, but who's gonna know what Little Harbor is unless they live in Cohasset?
frankly, I think because, well, Newburyport's a very large town and it has lots going there, the restaurants, lots of shops. Cohasset, honestly, I don't think we're going to have that many outsiders walking along.
Yeah, I know.
I think it'll be
But you
mostly,
answered my question as
Yeah.
far as the word, paying for words or amount of words, so
no,
that doesn't matter, yeah.
no, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Megan, do you have any questions or comments?
No, the file came through for me well when you sent it, and
Oh,
it'll look good.
Yeah, well, that's good. Okay, well, the PDF seems to work, so I'll send it to you in that form. And what I'd like to do next time, I'll send 3, and then the next, that will be what, December, then January, the last 3, so that we will have looked at all of them. And my thinking now is maybe in February, just telling this woman at Pioneer Graphics to go ahead with the graphic design, because they won't feel rushed. They'll have plenty of time and it will keep them engaged. I'm just, afraid it's just going to be such a long time before we actually order the darn signs. But I think if they work on the graphic design and we have a chance to comment and modify it ourselves, I think that would ensure their continued interest in our project.
what would be the cost of that, Jackie, and who would fund it?
The captain's, the signage.
Yeah, no, the design, the
Oh,
graphic design.
okay, it's not too much. There's a second, and we will.
Do we have
fund
the
it.
money for it?
Yeah, we have the money for it.
Okay, that's all.
Yeah,
That's fine.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
It's not outrageous. And I think
Okay.
it's important to have that. Okay, the next thing is the Historical Commission brochure, which Susie.
Well,
I
progress
saw-
as usual is very slow. I sent around
Yeah.
To you, Jackie, and Megan and Julia.
Yeah.
The best I could type up. And Megan said that she would put it all together in a better flow. So yes, it's progressing.
It's coming
We're getting
along.
there.
Yeah.
We're
You
getting
know,
there.
it's you
It's
never
hard
promised.
without being able to sit down
Yeah.
and spread everything out and talk to Julia and Megan at the same time. And
Yeah,
I'm
I
having,
hope that'll happen soon,
so do I.
Has everyone had a booster shot?
I'm getting mine,
Okay,
but I
Yeah, me
have not
too.
had it yet.
I
Everybody else is
actually
too young.
went to get mine and it was too early. They wouldn't give it to me.
oh, really? Well, I just got mine last week.
Yeah,
And
so
so
I can get mine
once
too.
you get your booster, I think you'll feel much more comfortable getting together in person. You know, I don't even think about it anymore. When we were in Newburyport, there was a restaurant called the Tuscan, which was really right. It reminded me of Atlantica. It's right on the water. It juts out a little bit the same way Atlantica does. And, we went in there and sat down. I didn't even think about the pandemic. So anyway, hopefully you'll feel much more comfortable after you get your booster.
Yeah.
you know.
The problem
I'm
is
still
my
waiting.
granddaughter is too young for the vaccine.
How
and
old is she?
She's 4.
Hmm.
and her mother has some health issues, so we're just extra careful.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's tough, but you know, it'd be great to get the brochure done by the end of the year if you can. If you can't, there's no, you know, we're
Okay.
not aiming for any specific date, really.
It'll get done,
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. Okay, thank
Right.
you for what you've done. All right.
What's the next one?
The next
Oh,
one is the report. We've talked about the
I think we already did that.
Elm Street corridor, which is the MPIC thing. So, and then the last thing is the Cohasset Harbor sign. I'm surprised Noel isn't here. He didn't say he wasn't coming. But anyway, he sent me an email saying that he finally did hear from George McGoldrick, who said that they would like to hang on to the sign and possibly integrate it into their new condo
Oh, nice.
development, which they could do because it's a standalone thing. It's, I mean, you've seen it, I think. It's like a little standalone wall of granite stones. And then on both sides of this thing are the signs saying Cohasset Harbor Inn, and they're attractive. Again, the historic, if they don't want to use it in their complex, the Historical Society will take the sign and use it probably, or at least store it. We're really not in the business of collecting stuff because we have no place to put it. So that's, anyway, that's that. So that's about, excuse me, that's about it. Does anyone else have anything?
Oh,
that
Jackie,
they-
I have a question.
Oh, yeah.
Does anybody have any idea what's happening with Hugo's or Atlantica, that property? I know there's
Yeah.
like, from what I've read, there are a lot of rumors going around. I was just curious,
Yeah, well,
because I haven't heard anything.
we know a little bit about it. Our neighbor, Tom Sullivan, who he ran, I don't know if he still owns it, but Lumber Liquidators. He
Oh,
was,
yeah.
okay, he's bought Atlantica, the building.
Yeah. Okay.
And Tim Davis said that he was contemplating maybe putting a footbridge between sort of on the other side of the Lobster Pound. There's
Okay.
a sort of narrow passage between Government Island and that area behind the Lobster Pound. And he thought, instead of having to go across the Border Street Bridge, that they could build a footpath, a footbridge to Government Island. That maybe Susie is laughing.
Well, wasn't there also something about him putting a beer place in there, a beer works?
I
There's a
never
lot
heard,
of
I don't
rumors,
know.
Julia.
Because
about-
that's a rumor I heard.
Yeah, the rumor I heard is that they're going to tear down Atlantica, and whoever bought Atlantica is going to put a marina in where the Lobster Pound is.
He owns that as well.
Well, I don't know. We have,
All you have to do is go to Cohasset 143, and you'll be able to read all about it.
oh, okay, I'll do that. You know, we actually have a nice relationship now with Tom Sullivan. He brought us, he owns a vineyard in France.
Oh, wow.
And he brought us this bottle of wine that is I think very, very expensive, very special red wine. So we said we would save it and have it with him and his wife, but they go off to Florida. So, yeah, I probably won't see them until maybe next summer, but I'm sure, he'll tell us what he can do. Now, they
I'm just
can't,
genuinely curious. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
like, trying to like get the skinny ahead of everybody. I'm just
no,
really curious. And
yeah,
Well, I was looking for a place for Thanksgiving for Michael and the twins and me.
yeah.
And I had looked at Atlantica, and it says they're serving Thanksgiving dinner, but it's an incredibly uninspiring menu. And then,
Yeah.
but when I called to find out about reservations, the number for Atlantica, I Googled Atlantica, and the number they gave me was the Salt House. And
Oh.
then
Oh,
she
interesting.
said And she said, oh, Atlantica's been sold. We no longer have anything to do with that. But why don't you try the Red Lion for Thanksgiving reservations, you know,
Well,
which I did, and that's where we're going. But
that's
anyway,
good. That's good. Okay. All's well that ends well.
but I did definitely get the impression that there was some sort of work, you know, this beer works. You know, I didn't hear that he was going to
Well,
tear down
Megan, there's an
Atlantica.
opportunity
Hey,
for your
Megan.
husband to move into Cohasset.
No, no, a big project.
Yeah,
Just what you're looking for, huh?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm gonna veto that.
yeah, no. No, I haven't heard that, but if they build a new building there, they're gonna have to raise it up because it's in this flood zone.
Mhm.
And so it's going to be very impractical to build a new building there. They'd have to almost just use the footprint of Atlantica and modify that. But I don't know, there are challenges to that.
All you have to do is go boat by it at low tide and look at the pilings that the like 3/4 of the building sit on.
Yeah, those are historic. It's on, was it
Is it a tower wharf?
Tower
Oh
Wharf.
yeah, no, I'm just saying that the
Yeah.
footings
The-
seem to be, you know, need a lot of work, need a lot of
Yeah,
love.
oh, I'm sure that a tremendous amount of work is needed there. But anyway, we'll see. Tom.
Yeah, I'm just
yeah,
interested.
He could pull it off. Who knows?
Yeah.
So. Well, is there anything anyone would like to bring up at this point?
Wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, have a great Thanksgiving and
Thanksgiving.
we'll meet again in December, the second
Be
Monday
safe.
in December. Yeah, we're getting there. So have a good Thanksgiving and enjoy this beautiful weather too. It's been gorgeous out.
65 tomorrow, they said.
Yeah, yeah. So take
Global
advantage of
warming
it.
doesn't exist, people. It's just seasonably nice.
One last thing, has anyone noticed an incredible abundance of leaves this year? And the trees are still green, but boy, there are an awful lot of leaves.
Hmm.
Must have been a very good summer for
There was
leaves.
the Weather Channel posted something on Instagram of a tree in New Jersey last year comparatively to this year. Last
Oh,
year
okay.
last year it was orange. This year it was green. So that, I mean, either we're in a cycle where that works, or this is what the
No, but
new.
I'm talking about leaves on the ground. I mean, trees are still in full
Oh yeah,
foliage.
there's a lot of
But
foliage.
Somewhere these leaves are coming from, but there are an awful lot of them.
Well, anyway, happy
And
raking.
on that note,
Yeah. Okay.
They're from historic trees, so it's okay.
yeah,
Oh, that's
Yes.
good. Okay.
All right, I
Well,
move we adjourn.
thank you for coming and we'll see you in a month. Okay, the meeting is adjourned.
Thanks. Good
Bye.
night, everybody.
I'll
Bye.
talk to you,
Happy
Susie.
Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Bye.
Leave webinar, end webinar.